Hi everyone, welcome to Stretch the Sketch. That is the Chamel sketch that we will be using for the hop today. We have a wonderful group of ladies all taking that same sketch, which is a 12 by 12 sketch, and doing a different size with it. I'm doing 9 by 12, you could do 6 by 12, you could do 8 by 8, you could do a traveler's notebook, whatever your heart desires or your creativity came up with, as long as it was not 12 by 12. So you saw I'm using a photo of our daughter from her 2-year-old birthday shoot, and I'm trying to find a little bit of mixed media that matches the aqua in that Cocoa Vanilla More Than Words paper that I'm using. So the texture paste that I have was too blue, not enough aqua. This is a Tim Holtz Distress color. I don't remember what the color was, but I was seeing if that worked. I was using a tag just as a tester, and that was not the right color either. So what I end up doing is going with a very old, and I'll show it to you later, Mr. Huey's ink dauber. And I've used it before with this collection, and it was a little too dark. So what I do now is add a little bit of Dilution's white spray, and it turns out to be the most perfect turquoise color. And I'm using this strip that I cut off my 12 by 12 as a tester, and I actually will end up using that later in the design. So it was the perfect color. I'm just using the packaging technique here, and I'm blotting it up a little bit each time so it's not overly dark. I do it, I want to say 3 or 4 times to get it to the perfect size, but I only make you watch 2 of them since it's the same thing over and over. I did add a little bit of water to blend them not correctly, but to the color I wanted, to the consistency I wanted. And I keep a mini mister full of water on my workstation. And now I'm just using my water brush and some of the ink, the Mr. Huey's ink, to create splatters. Normally I do this at the end, but I did not want the green on my photo. So I do this several times. Some of them I wipe up, some of them I don't, so that you have different dimension splatters, so to speak. Again, I only make you watch one of those. And then I add my go-to Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine, which if anybody has a replacement that they are in love with, since that is being discontinued, let me know, as my bottle is almost done. I've heard good things about Winsor and Newton gold ink, but the only place I could find that was in a gigantic bottle on Amazon. So if anybody has experience even with that, just let me know. I'd really appreciate it. On the sketch, there were those triangles or arrow-looking pieces at the top, the bottom right, and across to the left. So instead of doing the arrows, I'm going to do tags that you see me. I'm creating them myself here with scrap pieces of paper that I have on my desk that all match each other. They're actually from 3 different collections. So that's, something I'm not overly good at doing, is combining collections, but these 3 just really worked well together. The shades all complemented each other nicely. And the way I usually create my tags is I bought a pack at Hobby Lobby, 2 different sizes, and I have used them, but then I also kept one of each just in my desk area, and those are like my templates. I put them in places to see if they're the correct size, and then I either just cut cardstock or patterned paper. So here is where my tester comes back into play, where I tested if the color was correct. I use my We Are Memory Keepers hole reinforcer, if I can get it in the right place, to cut out the reinforcement for those homemade tags. I know you can leave them without the reinforcement, but they never looked right to me. So that's why I bought this punch. If you don't have this punch or aren't interested in purchasing this punch, I have seen people use a circle punch and then cut out the center with the regular hole punch. For me, I'm not good at lining things up like that, so this was just an easier option. To glue them down, I am using my Nuvo. I don't know if it has an actual name, like usually I use the Zig glue pen, but this is the Nuvo glue pen. And I like the tip on that a little bit better than the Zig pen. The glue seems to come out easier for me. Now I wanted to back this photo on that aqua piece of paper that I had cut the tag from. And I know I have another one in this book, which is die cuts with a view. I believe it's called Linen Closet. It's super, super old. And then where I was pulling the other patterned papers from was a Teresa Collins Sweet Afternoon. Again, they're both super, super old. But I keep them for, A, because I like them, but B, for layering pieces. So I'll start with the aqua, which has a tiny pattern of aqua on aqua, so it's not, in your face about it. And then I go with the pink from the Sweet Afternoon collection, and I just cover up that hole punch. You'd never even know it was there. And now I'm going to start arranging things where I think I would like them. Now I should note I did not gesso this paper before I did the packaging technique. I'm finding that if I go light on the water, I'm not really having to gesso. My paper actually gets less warped when I don't use the gesso. Now, if I was doing a whole bunch of mixed media or using a lot of water, I would use the gesso. But I found with just this little amount, I didn't need to. Now, to replace the triangles or arrow-looking shapes coming in from the left-hand side of the sketch, I am going to use banners. I have those little scraps that I will end up cutting into banners. One of both the black polka dot and the floral are from Cocoa Vanilla More Than Words, both from a 6x6 sheet of paper. The floral was 6x6 floral across the whole page, and the polka dot was all different tiny squares on the 6x6. I do try to get that yellow banner on the page, but even with the mixed media, aqua behind it, it just kind of melted into the page. So I went with just the floral and just the black polka dot. See, even now when I'm watching it, I go, hey, you can't really see that. So I'm going to start putting down some of the things I know I want to be in a certain place. I'm going to use Fun Foam for my picture along with the Nuvo liquid adhesive. I find any liquid adhesive for me seems to do better on the Fun Foam than trying to use my tape runner. I also tucked part of a frame on the right hand side. That is a very small black and white polka dot, so it helps to bring the black to each side of the layout since I'm using the polka dot on the left hand side. So now I'm just going to start tucking things where I want them. I know I want the banners right there, and then I'm going to start arranging the tags. And when I get them exactly how I want them, I end up just turning the page around and putting some liquid glue right there, because if I had taken those out and tried to arrange them again, I never would have gotten them in the right place. Now, I debated putting twine or, ribbon of some kind through there, but I didn't have anything that I felt matched the colors appropriately. I had navy blue, but there wasn't anything besides black on this layout that was that dark, no navy at all. The pink was too much on the hot pink realm, so I just left them empty. And I am on the lookout for some solid black twine. I haven't found any in the store here, or maybe just like a natural or even a white or ivory, just for when I want them to be filled, but don't necessarily want them to be like, hey, look at me, I got twine. You know what I mean, so in your face about it. So now I'm going to start sprinkling. Oh, wait, I'm going to work on chipboard. I wanted this chipboard banner at the bottom of my photo since the top had so much going on with those tags. It needed something down there. And since I used the fun foam, I couldn't just attach the banner. It would have, it wouldn't have stayed put. So I use some of my dimensional dots, and I have these in 2 different thicknesses. This is the thicker of the 2. I also add a tiny bit of liquid adhesive where it's going to be touching the photo and photo mats. That way it's secure at the top and secure at the bottom. So let's see. Oh, a little banner above her head. This was during her 2-year-old photo shoot. It wasn't a posed picture or somewhere we told her to be, but the place we went had an indoor waterfall and koi pond, and she was just fascinated by it. She stood there, we had to like pull her away to get her to go to do any other pictures. She just wanted to look at the fish, and her face here was just so cute. Like her little amazement about, the fish being inside and the water, that I had to document that. So now I'm adding the last of my embellishments here. Some chipboard hearts, some enamel hearts from the More Than Words collection. And then I'm using my Hobby Lobby tiny hole punch. It's not a hole, it's like a hole punch, but it's a heart. I just bought that, and the only thing I don't care for is it leaves on the one side a little bit of a trail, so, it doesn't cut through cleanly. So I just trim it. I mean, I wanted that size, so I'm making it work. I think they're only like 1/4 of an inch. They're super perfect for just kind of placing around here and there. And then I thought it needed a little bit more black. I didn't want a full black word there, that would be too heavy, but it needed a little bit more. So I decided to put that black heart, it's a foam heart on there, and then I decided to mount the whole thing on black. It makes the layout just pop just that much more. I really like, I'm finding I'm mounting a lot on black lately. It like brings the layout out, and it's just a really nice accent. I do use liquid glue when I mount a full piece on top of another one. That way, if it's not 100% straight, I do have a little bit of time to move it around, where if I use my tape runner and then I'm ripping it up or grabbing out the undo, I find this works for me just a little bit better. So now I'm placing on some black glitter enamel dots, just the tiny ones. Again, I wanted a little black, but not, screaming at you. And then the last thing I decide to do, I believe, is outline the edge of the photo, or the edge of the layout, with a black pen. This is I think it's a Uniball Signo in black. It's a little bit thicker than I'd like. Next time I'd buy the size down, but it works really smoothly, and that's what I like. So that's about it, guys. I will show you a close-up. You know, I'll bring the layout up to the camera in just a second. Oh, wait, I need my title. And of course I went for gold. And I really like this thicker set. I don't even remember what it was because it has 2 different sizes. But I wanted to thank you for watching today. And yes, you're going to see when I bring the layout up close that I do drop it. In case you're wondering, yes, I dropped it. So thank you so much for watching. I'd love it if you'd give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and if you're so inclined, I'd love it for you to subscribe to my video. Now go check out what the rest of the girls did with the sketch. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.